I'm sure all of you have noticed, but over the last year or so, I've watched a lot of body cam footage. There is something endlessly interesting about seeing a crazy situation unfolding through the eyes of an officer's nipples. And in general, body cam content has really exploded online, especially on YouTube and TikTok in particular. It's gotten so big, in fact, that now there are channels dedicated to faking them for the sake of making like really outrageous or very inflammatory content that is presented as authentic. So that way, people share it, get upset, and they get tons of money off the AdSense from these completely fraudulent body cam videos, and they have been really raking in tons of money.
A month ago, I made a video covering the YouTube channel known as Bodycam Declassified. This channel has blown up over the past few months, making fake body cam arrest videos with inflammatory titles and content that they present as real to get millions of views.
Scott Schaefer made 2 videos covering this topic, specifically Bodycam Declassified, who seems to be the biggest culprit. Their videos go viral, at least were going viral pretty frequently, and people were under the impression that it was all legitimate. So they went viral on multiple different platforms. When I'd stream and I'd watch like a police chase or something where a guy hops in a fucking lawnmower and cranks it to 10 miles per hour for the slowest speed chase you've ever seen on the East Coast, and I would be inundated with requests to check out this catalog of cuckoldry here with these fake body cams from people that were under the impression that they were real, because this channel presents them as such.
Since my initial video on May 29th, Bodycam Declassified has uploaded a total of 10 new bodycam videos, and interestingly enough, 3 of those videos are real bodycam footage videos instead of the normal fake videos they upload. It seems like they are doing this to trick new people into thinking they are a legitimate bodycam channel, but if you spend 15 seconds watching their videos, it's clear by the Darman level acting which ones are actually fake.
It really is Darman level acting. Even from the titles, you can see Darman DNA deeply intertwined with this channel's identity here. They have been fucking spliced like it's CRISPR with Darman integrated into it. Like their most popular video about the black FBI agent and how the officer lives to regret it, that kind of thing. But anyway, Scott Schaefer points out that since him and others were talking about Bodycam Declassified, they tried a new tactic of uploading real body cams that were dropped in the middle of all of their fake ones to hopefully confuse people into thinking that it was real, because if they have these morsels of actual body cams mixed in with their fake ones, people will be more likely to think the fake ones are real by giving them the benefit of the doubt, like, oh, that one was real, so this one is also probably real.
My personal favorite new video they uploaded is titled Crazy Karen Vandalizes and Shoots Tesla, which includes some of the worst sound effects and gun recoil acting I've ever seen in a video.
I know the footage is hard to look at. It's too realistic. It's shocking. You can see why so many people were deceived by high-quality forgeries like this. I do really like this one as well. The way that she like, ugh, as if she's fucking shooting a bazooka at the Tesla here. This is how like a child thinks a gun works.
Excuse me, ma'am. What do you think you're doing?
What do you mean?
Well, we've had 3 suspicious calls.
Calls from what?
About a suspicious person approaching houses. 3 people in this neighborhood have reported it. Do you know anything about that?
I surely don't. I'm working.
You're working?
I'm now.
And what is it that you're doing? What's your job?
I'm the mail carrier.
You're a government employee. Would you get that costume at Spirit Halloween store? All right, turn around. You're under arrest.
Sir!
Bag off.
To make matters worse, they even come up with a fake backstory that shows up at the end of the video, claiming the black mail carrier was suspended for 6 months without pay.
Now, as Scott mentions, that last video with the crazy Karen going cuckoo and shooting the Tesla is just silly, but most of them are supposed to be really incendiary. So, like, a lot of them are racially charged ones, like this, about a black mail carrier getting arrested just because the color of her skin. And even though the acting is atrocious, obviously, it was good enough for a lot of people to buy into it and get outraged, which generates a lot of money for Body Cam Declassified. So they've done very similar ones like this multiple times, all for the same purpose of rage bait to make money.
A clear example they know they may be doing something wrong is they started to add a disclaimer that says, this content is a dramatized reenactment. Any similarities to actual persons or event are purely coincidental. This disclaimer has been added to their most viral videos, like the one titled, Cop Pulls Over Black Judge and Lives to Regret It. When I covered that video last month, there was no disclaimer in the description this was fake, and you can verify that by using the website Wayback Machine to see it was only added recently. They also aren't adding this disclaimer to any of their new fake videos, and seem to have only done this to the videos that went really viral.
Yeah, so the disclaimer was absent when those videos were uploaded and when they were gaining all their steam. It was added after the fact when they had already popped off. Kind of, it seems like, as a way of covering their own ass, because they got so popular and they made so much money off of it that they probably thought that there was a chance they could get in trouble for it, because it is presented as if it's genuine. They go out of their way to try and make these extremely real with no indication that they are reenactments, as they call them. So they probably panicked a little bit thinking that there was some kind of trouble they could find themselves in, some hot water, so they retroactively added that. But as Scott mentions, it's only for those videos when they get to a certain level. Like, their new ones, it's still not there. This video from Scott's about a month old, but their most recent one from a little over a week ago, the HOA Karen, that one also doesn't have a disclaimer in there, despite being a completely fake video too.
Ma'am?
Officer, I am so glad you're here for backup.
I'm sorry, here for
You can
what?
stand back. I am the president of this HOA and I have this perimeter secured.
Okay, can we stand over here in the shade out of the sun so I can find out what is going on here?
Yeah, I am the person that's in control here and this is out of control here.
So you can check the description. It just says crazy HOA gets arrested on body cam, hashtag body cam, hashtag police. And it ends with her being thrown in the back of the patrol car, which does use actual cherries, it seems. Like, it does actually have the lights and is seemingly a pretty convincing cop car. The only dead giveaway that it's not a real cop car is the side says Coral Palms. You can see it right there in the logo, Coral Palms Police. But there is no Coral Palms Police in the real world. That's a reference to Brooklyn Nine-Nine, at least from everything I can see. I can't find a Coral Palms Police. So they probably were very careful to choose a fictitious place and make their own logo in order to avoid, like, the police department coming after them for presenting a fake arrest as real while also parading around and impersonating their police department. That would be my guess. But yeah, there are some of these fake videos where they do everything they can to make it seem very real. It really feels like this channel wants everyone to believe that what they're presenting is not reenactments per se, but legitimate events, because that's what spreads and it makes people upset, so they get a lot of money for it. They're trying to shove that cock down your throat about how real and authentic they are. This is their channel description. Our channel presents authentic body cam footage sourced through official FOIA, Freedom of Information Act requests, as well as reenactments using professional actors to clarify key events. All reenacted content is original, scripted, and exclusive intellectual property of Media 360 LLC, protected under copyright law. Unauthorized use, reproduction, you get the gist here. Literally reads like the warnings you'd get at the beginning of a VHS tape back in the 90s about how you're gonna be going to jail and fined up to $250K if you fucking copy this movie somewhere else. They're basically bringing that out as well. We'll get you with the fucking strong fist of justice if you try and use our fake body cams for your own somewhere. We'll find you. But you can see in their description, the first line there is about being authentic body cams. It's not until you expand the full thing where they also mention the reenactments, which again, they're not reenactments, they're skits. You are making skits, but they're trying to find nomenclature to spruce it up a little bit, because saying that you make fake body cam skits is a little pathetic. So they're calling them reenactments of key elements. Key elements of your fucking fan fiction. Like, there's no key elements they're reenacting. They are just making shit up, making up full scenarios. It's basically a theater club thespian troupe exercise here that they film and then post online to try and make people mad by having people think it's real. Anyway, Scott then called the police department in the jurisdiction where they were filming this and was just wondering if it was even legal for them to be presenting these as real officers and real body cams when they're not. And in a lot of these videos, the officers are like actually committing crimes. So he was asking the PR person that he spoke with, is something like this legal? Didn't get like a clear answer or not. I would say it probably is fully legal. Freedom of speech. You are able to make this content. It's just cringe. Which, I guess, that is also kind of a crime, being cringe. But as far as legality goes, I imagine it is fully legal for them to do this and try and present it as real. At the end of Scott's video, he then talks directly to the point people were making, saying, who gives a fuck? Cops deserve it anyway. Basically saying, like, there's so many terrible cops out there. This is totally fine. Who cares? And Scott's point was, it doesn't really matter how you feel about police officers. It's the racially charged, fake rage bait videos here that are the issue.
I don't really care if you like cops or not, but making fake rage bait videos designed to foster social and racial tensions, all because you just want to make money on YouTube, is an incredibly evil thing to do. Everyone has some sort of social or racial group they are a part of, and I assume that most people wouldn't want the people they cared about being trashed online with fake videos trying to make them look bad for views on YouTube. What if someone faked a video of a black man doing terrible things to a white person, or even a member of the LGBTQ community doing inappropriate things to a minor?
And again, this isn't the only channel that does it. It is a pretty popular branch of content now to make fake body cams that are really incendiary, so that way they will spread and the creator of those body cams can make quite a bit of money off it. It really is very Darman-esque how Darman came and gave the internet the curse of Darman type videos where it's about like, don't judge a book by its cover, be nice to your friends, that kind of thing. And now there's hundreds of channels that are making full careers, making an entire business out of that genre of content. This is kind of the same thing, but for a currently smaller niche, which is body cams. So just an interesting topic I felt like talking about today because it is still pretty common to see a lot of fake body cams floating around and people thinking they're real. That's really about it. So yeah. Staying on theme of horrible drivers making terrible decisions, yesterday I talked about the lady who wouldn't stop texting and driving and then crashed the rented vehicle. Today I want to talk about Jeffrey, the boy wonder who won't stop drinking and driving.
Did you just get into an accident? No, I need to stay over here. No, you can't go back in your car right now. Because it's not safe for you to go in your car. Nope, you can't go in your car.
Oh, I can't.
Nope. No, you can't.
Oh, I can't.
No, you can't. You're just in an accident.
Oh, it wasn't.
Nope.
When I saw this Midwest safety clip for the first 2 seconds, I thought for a second that it was Jokic. I thought he went from buckets to brewskis here. It turns out it is a gentle sir named Jeffrey. And the way he is holding that case of beer, it's like a precious artifact to him. He's holding it like a running back holds a football. Now, Jeffrey's already been in one accident here. His car is smoking, and now he's got a brand new case of beer because he's ready to really get this farty sharded. He very much already seems sloshed, and an officer's like, don't get into the car, Jeffrey. You've been in an accident. You can't do that. And he's like, no, I'm good. I'm getting in the car. You can't stop me. This is my beer and this is my car. You do the math.
I can't go. Nope. Do not go. Do not go. Get out of your car. Get out of your car, sir. Get out of your car. You're being detained. I need you to get out of your car. Get out of your car. Get out of your car. Because you ran into a different car. Stop recording.
The suspect is able to turn the officer's body camera off. When the officer is able to reactivate her body camera, the suspect has violently backed up and then takes off, prompting the officer to initiate a pursuit.
I don't know if this was a calculated move from Jeffrey here. Maybe he's a high-tech hacker and just went into the mainframe here, scrubbing the body camera footage, getting rid of the evidence. Or if he was just fighting back and just started poking at the body camera and happened to turn it off. But regardless, the footage is gone from the archives here, and he was able to punch it in reverse and then just peel out. So then it was time for a moderate speed pursuit.
Just 1 minute before this interaction, another officer in the area is interviewing the victim, whose vehicle was hit by the same suspect just minutes earlier.
They're pursuing southbound on Audi. There's 3 Sheffield. I'm just staying back, blocking traffic. Slow speeds, 30 miles an hour. Almost hit one of the units.
Continue.
Most of this chase happens at approximately 30 miles per hour, so my little game theory here is that he activated cruise control and just started fucking pounding those voodoo rangers in the passenger seat. This man was probably butt chugging as much as he could, knowing full well this was probably the last time he'd have the chance to do that for a while.
Possibly .19, speeds are 32. Alright, we're calling up the Gulf.
A big sigh from the officer here. So you can see Jeffrey's not exactly staying in the lane. He is swerving all over the place, dreadfully. The man is hammered, and he is only continuing to get more and more inebriated, because you'll see here towards the end, he is actively drinking during the chase. Like, I don't even think he recognizes that he's being chased. I really think in his world, he's right now in like the fucking battle bus partying.
Golf. Speeds 32. Coming up to Antoinette. He's all over the road, definitely .19, I'd say.
He comes dangerously close to head-on collisions with cars multiple times. I can only imagine what it was like to see this unfolding as you're just like driving home at night, and there's this fucking lunatic just going like this with the steering wheel coming right at you. That must be terrifying. Also, I tell you what, those mailbox must have been sweating seeing this douchebag coming through. The amount of times he gets close to kissing those mailboxes is astounding. He is like right next to them, shaving them with his car so many times on this chase here.
Still northbound, passing Hemlock. Speeds are 29. We're passing Hemlock, speeds are 30. Alright, he's getting on, going the wrong way on 90 here. We're going the wrong way.
After a slow stroll around the area, taking us on a bit of a tour, he finally decides to just go the wrong way on the highway, and that's when the officers decide, we've got to do something about this. Now it's even more dangerous, so now they're readying the pit maneuver.
If you can, be very careful on this.
After some bumping and grinding, they do get him to drive into a ditch. I guess it's not really a pit maneuver. They're looking more just to like bump him off the road to get him away from the cars, it seems, and get like a, I don't know, maybe like box him in or something. Because they didn't really go for like the big time pit maneuver where they swing out wide and fucking blast the butt cheeks on the car or anything. It was more so like they were almost kind of like shielding the road from this car, like trying to just like grind him off to the side, which eventually does work.
I already at best is in a ditch, and I'm gonna need sugar for my car.
Get on the ground, no! Put your hands behind your back right now, you're gonna get tased again! Don't f***ing move, you understand?
I can't stand up.
Go.
Stand up.
I can't! Why not?
With your leg.
Stand the f*** up. I cannot stand up!
Slim Shady goes on about how he can't stand up here after they've tased him, so he crashes his car into the ditch, and then he immediately tries to run through the forest there. He does not get far. I don't think he knows where he is, so this man was probably just like running into like a tree like an NPC stuck on a wall. He actually only made it like maybe a foot or two, despite bailing out of his car pretty early.
They caught me. Okay, so they caught you, you're driving, you drove down the ditch? What the f*** up, you mother...
Come on, brother.
Nah, bro. Nah.
Listen,
you guys are nothing.
Listen, we've dealt with
you
each
guys
other
are
before,
nothing.
man.
I live in America. I live in America.
So do we.
Well, so do we. Yeah, right. So do we. I live in America.
You gotta
right?
stop drinking, Jeff.
No, I live in America just as you do.
You gotta stop
just
drinking.
as you do. What if I leave this damn forsaken country, bro?
Okay. Best of luck to you. Wish you nothing but the best.
Now that was hard from Jeffrey right there. I live in America. What if I left this country, huh? I don't know what he was expecting the response to be like. No, wait, Jeff, don't make that threat. Don't leave. America needs you, Jeff. You're a hero. You're a real patriot. But no, Jeff, you can't leave. Don't say things you're gonna regret. We can't lose you, Jeff. Who's gonna drink all our Voodoo Rangers? I recognize Jeffrey's completely gone right now, but I find it fascinating how common this dialogue option is with drunk drivers. I have seen this exact statement from so many other drunk drivers in these body cams and shit, where they all go like, I live in America. I'm an American, goddammit. You're infringing on my rights. Wait, I thought this was a free country. Since when can I not drink beer while driving the wrong way on the highway? What? This country's gone to the birds. This is ridiculous.
Hey, sit back, man. Do you want to go to the hospital or do you want to go to jail? Hospital. That's where we're going. But if you act like this, you go to jail. You go to jail. Jeff, stop. Relax. We'll be there in probably approximately 10 minutes.
An officer finds open alcohol cans in the suspect's vehicle.
Got 2 open Voodoo Rangers.
This happens to be the exact same brand of beer the suspect was holding a case of at the beginning of this incident, indicating he was likely drinking multiple cans of beer during the vehicle pursuit.
In the ambulance, he kept, lunging forward as if he was trying to jump scare officers or something, like it was Five Nights at Freddy's. And then eventually they concluded with, a little high five. He's like, okay, high five. Give me some skin. So anyway, they find some open Voodoo Rangers in his car, which is the same case he had in the very beginning of the video. I think we've got some real strong evidence to prove that he was probably drunk driving here, I would say. I think that one's kind of locked in. He's been charged with quite a few things. I don't think he's been sentenced or anything yet. But yeah, Jeffrey, not good, man. A big frown from me on this one, brother. Drunk driving, little PSA. Don't do it. Not good. That's about it. See ya. Yep, the glasses are still on, and do you know why? Trying a new strategy. Blocking blue light. I am so desperate to do anything that'll even have the slightest chance of improving my odds of falling asleep. It is brutal. It is just brutal. If only the Sandman was a real person who would just come and throw the magic sand in my face so I can get some shut-eye. But yeah, glasses stay on, and people stay being big fucking losers here over Pokemon cards. I just saw Rattle Pokemon cover the toughest scalper I've ever seen, and let me tell you, this guy, he's the damn prime minister of the salty spittoon.
Well, you don't have to, man.
No, it's no worries. I just want to record you.
No, don't record me, dude.
It's a lot of sleep boosters.
What the fuck?
It's unfortunate.
Why are you being a bitch, bro?
You're being a bitch.
Why are you being a bitch?
I'm just letting you know. I mean,
you're being a fucking faggot, dude, for recording you for no reason. Why are you being a faggot, dude?
That's some pretty crazy language in a toy section.
You're being a bitch, bro. Fucking recording you for no reason.
You could not have scripted a better response here from the cameraman. When he said, that's pretty crazy language coming from a guy shopping in the toy section, absolute cinema. I could feel like the clouds part with a heavenly glow beam down upon this interaction, and I could feel all the gear in that guy's bloodstream starting to dissolve and his muscles shrink in the shame. That is just a textbook checkmate. The only winning move was to no longer play. He just got turbo dunked on there. Because he's absolutely right. Goober is out here spitting all of this shit, hurling slurs, peacocking, while he is actively in the toy section buying children's Pokemon cards so he can flip them for a profit. You cannot get more pathetic than that. His entire business relies on buying out Walmart's inventory so that way he can sell it in his card shop for a markup, probably to kids whose parents bring them there and don't know any better about, them just being exploited by a fucking douchebag like this with these prices. Yeah, spoiler alert, Numbnuts here does have his own card shop, if you can call it that. Apparently it was only started a few months ago, so it seems like it was made solely on a whim to try and capitalize off the absurd Pokemon craze, this hysteria that's sweeping the globe right now, to try and get in on that money machine, suckle on that teat. And based on some of the pictures I've seen, it really feels like it was haphazardly thrown together really quickly to somewhat look like a card business. It's like Ed Gein's furniture made out of human flesh somewhat resembles like a lampshade. That's like his card shop. It is clearly him trying so hard to try and get in on this trend. And it seems like the way he gets his product is he just cruises Walmarts and buys their Pokemon inventory so he can stock his shelves. So it's pretty laughable that he gets like this defensive and like combative, like, well, throw up a set then. We're gonna settle this the old-fashioned way with fisticuffs. You a pugilist? You better be, because you're a bitch. What are you gonna do about it? Throw him up. Meanwhile, he's just like a pathetic worm who is literally trying to make a living off just flipping a children's product.
I'm just recording you, man. I think there's a reason. You know what you're doing.
But at least I'm not a bitch like you.
I'm a bitch because
I just called you a bitch, bro, and you're not doing anything about it.
Yeah, because
that's the definition of bitch.
I'm not gonna fight you over some Pokemon
cards, dude. You get your ass whooped, bro. You know it.
Okay, maybe I would. Who cares?
Yeah.
You're the degenerate that's taking all the Pokemon cards. Have fun at your store.
Lying about it, pussy.
See how your store goes in a couple months when the bubble pops. Bye.
Imagine sinking so low that you are begging someone to fight you over Pokemon cards. Holy moly. Goodness gracious, heavens to Betsy. It's unbelievable. The state of this hobby. I know I've said that so much, but it is constantly shocking that I'm still finding things like this that surprise me. Obviously, this is a large, muscular guy. I would even wager guess he might be tinkering around with the sauce a bit. And even if he could break the cameraman in half, what the fuck does that prove? That you're just some heated loser that gets this fucking pressed over Pokemon card disputes? You goober? It's so stupid. Like, you challenging someone to fight you over the shit that you started talking, over you being the pathetic worm that is scalping children's Pokemon cards, is just incomprehensibly lame.
Hey, we're checking out together. I'm a pussy ass bitch and I'm a dude.
You follow me on my phone like a girl.
It's what girls do? Damn.
Because I bought the Pokemon cards.
You seem like a good person. You seem like a stand-up citizen.
Like, you know you're on camera. You gonna toss the slurs
hey, what's
around?
What's your store name? You got a store name? Alright.
He doesn't want to tell you that, but we'll look into it.
Oh, he just bought the Pokemon cards. I was just recording him because other people want the Pokemon cards.
Tough Guy got a little shy when he was asking what's the name of your store. Why not be proud of it? It's your business. It's your baby, right? Like, come on, it's a passion project, clearly. Why wouldn't you shout out the name of your store here? Great promotional opportunity, don't you think, bud? It's so weird that he decided not to take that opportunity. Now, of course, it's no surprise he wants to be pretty tight-lipped about that. He did all of this knowing he's being filmed. Like, no remorse at all. So, I think he was pretty aware of the fact that most people probably wouldn't want to shop at a place that has this guy there, this fucking loser. This guy who's willing to just throw down and fight people in a Walmart because they dared question him about, like, buying all of the Pokemon cards so nobody else can have it. Again, and I know this point gets hammered home often, a lot of families do actually go to, like, Walmarts and Targets to get their products, like Pokemon cards, for their kids. I know the hobby has been infested with parasites like this, the scalpers, but it is important to remember it's not just scalpers. There are still very many families that don't get access to these cards because of people like this. And when they do end up in hands like this guy's, they get priced out. Like, it becomes too expensive because of the markups, because of them flipping it to try and make a quick, easy buck. So it does suck.
Oh, you just bought the Pokemon cards. I was just recording him because other people want the Pokemon cards.
Whoa. Yeah, he said this guy was a bitch because he wouldn't fight him over the Pokemon cards, and that he wouldn't fight him after he called him a bitch, but now he's gonna tell the Walmart staff that this guy, he's recording me.
That is a pretty good point. That is, I'm sorry to say, bitch behavior. Scientifically speaking, of course. He is exhibiting all the telltale signs of he himself being a bitch here. He is now whining to the staff about him being recorded. Like, come on. He's talking tough. He's challenging to a fight. He's calling him a bitch, all this. And then at the very end, he's like, guys, can you get him to stop recording me? Come on, guys. Look at him being disrespectful. He's recording me here. I'm just trying to buy all of your Pokemon cards. Come on.
Do you want me to stop recording? Because I'll stop. All I'm doing is recording him.
Because I'm buying too much Pokemon?
Hey, calm down. It's not that big a deal.
Dude, leave me alone.
It takes two. Check out your stuff and leave, and then it's over.
Stop recording me. It's weird.
The cameraman is right again. Brother, you didn't have to engage at all. He could film you all you want, and if you want to just be like this stone cold scalper, you know, fucking devil may care, I'm gonna buy all the Pokemon cards, no one gets anything, not even the morsels when I'm through sinking my teeth into it for my fucking lame-ass card shop, then why do you engage with it so, like, often? He goes out of his way to keep engaging. The cameraman is right. You can just check out and leave. Like, he is not following him. They happen to be checking out at the same time, so he started recording again, apparently. But, like, he is not actively going out of his way to follow him and harass him or anything. He went there into the same aisle, saw that this guy bought all the Pokemon cards, started filming. This guy got immediately defensive. He got instantly combative. He was all on camera. They happened to go in the same direction. He filmed again, and this guy is still moaning and whining about it when he does not have to say anything. He doesn't have to talk to him. He doesn't have to look him in the eyes. He can just finish his scalping and go. And that's it. But he is choosing to keep, like, egging on this situation and now complaining and whining like a baby to the Walmart staff like, hey, guys, he's recording me. Can you make him stop? Like, you don't have to do any of that. But he just can't help himself. Now, I'm not going to be telling you the name of his card shop or anything like that. I don't want anyone going out and harassing him. But on his website, I cannot resist shooting spitballs at this. It is actual fucking gold. Look at the testimonials, like the reviews on his site. Blank is the best. Blank, the manager, the guy we saw in this video, personally helped me with a special order and went way above and beyond to make sure I got exactly what I needed. Plus, not gonna lie, he's extremely handsome, too. Hands down the best customer service I've ever experienced. Yeah, I wonder what that special order was. It sounds like these two just fucked. This is from Bianca G. And the other reviews also sound super phony baloney. It just sounds like he wrote this shit himself and then just put random names on it. Also, taking a glance at the inventory here, the selection, it seems like all of it is product from Walmart. It seems like he gets all of his inventory from just going and buying out Walmarts in his area. Like, first availability. Crazy. What a loser, man. Big tough guy, though. Big tough guy. You can say a lot of things about this guy, but one thing you can't say is that he's not tough. He's bad to the bone. He was willing to fight over Pokemon cards. What a big man. Pretty awesome. The state of Pokemon trading cards. It's crazy. That's really about it. So, yeah. I think it was like 2 years ago or something like that, I made a video spitting on those degenerate parasites that would go live on TikTok with videos, not actually live streams. They would have pre-recorded videos that they loop that aim to deceive children into giving them money or interacting with the stream, like spam emojis or spam galaxies, or else I'm gonna press this button. It's the boogeyman's cell phone. He's coming right to your house to fuck your mother. Yeah, quick, it's about to be game over. Or even more egregious, they say things like, the first person to donate 5 schmoobles, send me 6 ice creams, is going to get 10 billion V-Bucks, that kind of thing, and it actually works. Not the getting V-Bucks thing, don't get it twisted. The scamming children thing, deceiving them, misleading them into giving you money because they go grab their parents' credit card like, oh my goodness, what a deal, punching in those wacky numbers in there. And they don't realize that it's not actually a live stream. They're not actually going to get anything. What happens is they keep looping it for a while, then they take the stream down, then they start it up again a little bit later to get a whole new batch of suckers. And rinse and repeat. That's something that's been going on TikTok for a long time, but it now has infested YouTube as well, which I knew about, but I haven't yapped about it in a while because I got a very doomer attitude about it, how there's nothing you can do because YouTube isn't cracking down on it, even though it's a clear violation of their policies. But now it finally seems like they are. Jax Films just made a video going over this as well. I highly recommend you check out the whole thing. I'm going to show you bits and pieces of it.
You want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? So what you're looking at are 4 YouTube channels live streaming at the same time, except they're not actually live. Here, pay attention to the second video on the left and see if you can spot anything weird. Guys, 2 more seconds. Oh, just cut! Oh, tell me you saw the cut. That's right. These live streams are actually all looped, pre-recorded videos made to trick children into giving them money.
It really is such a shame that insufferable dweebs like this are no longer getting wedgies. Instead, now they get to just go endlessly scam children on these platforms without repercussions.
Press it right now if you want Robux and send me the laughing disco.
Anyone does a red super chat, you're gonna get 1,000,000 Robux right now, okay, bro?
Now, according to these gentlemen, this is all above board.
Yo, Jack, you need to stop trying to expose us, bro. Leave us alone.
We're not doing anything wrong, bro. We're not doing anything wrong.
It's fucking pathetic how you can actually hear the stupid in people's voices now. Like, there are people that are just observably stupid, and just in that one little brief clip there, I know for a fact that if you put the two of them together, they might not break double-digit IQ. They are just completely rotted. They grew up in this shit, they were molded by it, and they never broke out of it. They are just fucking perpetually stuck with baby brain. It is so sad. Like, I would feel bad for them if they weren't just scamming children. And make no mistake, they're not just harmlessly illiterate. They know what they're doing is wrong. They're just trying to cover their own ass. Now a lot of them have deleted it and tried to scrub it from their pages, probably out of fear of some kind of consequences, because, like I said in the beginning, it looks like they actually are starting to crack down on this. What they're doing is not only a violation of this platform's terms and policies, it is full-blown illegal. It's fraud. You are fraudulently running these fake giveaways. So like that guy who's saying, first one to send a red super chat gets 1,000,000 V-Bucks. That is a crime. That is fraud. And contrary to what generic NPC broccoli hair goober straight off the galaxy gas tries to spit out there about how they're doing nothing wrong, they are doing something wrong. And they should be punished for it. Saying shit like, give me this, galaxy, which is real money, by the way, and you'll get all these Robux pouring out of every orifice of your body, that kind of thing, and faking these live streams, looping this shit endlessly. That is fraudulent. It's fake giveaways. They don't actually give any of this away. If you do give them money, you don't get anything in return. In fact, you just get flexed on by them.
Guys, we are so sorry, guys.
We all do the crocodile streams.
They actually thought this went hard, by the way. This lame garbage. This only further confirms my theory that there is a government lab out there that's churning out these NPCs as an experiment. They all have the same hairdo. They're basically the exact same copy and paste person here. I'm telling you, there's something fishy. I'm not trying to get conspiratorial, but there's something afoot. They got the damn Manhattan Project going on, shitting out these twerps. Also, why is that Disney Channel extra on the far left of that video half naked? Why does he have his whole chest out rubbing it on the protagonist's chair? What the hell? What in tarnation?
And I noticed he happened to be live at the time. So I checked it out, and this is what it was.
And then I'm gonna click the green call button right now, live on stream, and I'm gonna call 911 right now, chat.
By the way, they never call 911. This is a very common tactic you'll see across a bunch of live streams. And the goal of this is to drive that viewer count up and keep the viewer's attention.
If you're following along with your thinking caps on, paying attention, you will also know that that is not live. It's again just a pre-recorded video. Jax Films shows you the cut. It's blatantly obvious. They're not very good at even making it appear to be live. They don't care because they haven't faced any punishment for it. So it is very sloppy and haphazardly thrown together. So he's got, fucking emo Chucky Finster back there doing moves while pretending to, I'm about to call 911, everyone, I'm about to call 911. So the viewer number's going way up, and then Then it gets to the next phase of the scam where they tries to squeeze the kids for their lunch money.
I swear, I didn't edit this next part.
Right now, here we go. In 5, 4. Okay, let's choose another person for some Robux, guys. Who in the chat wants Robux right now? Everyone right now.
All of a sudden, we've taken a hard shift into the next phase of this scam, live stream. So first, he claims he'll give you Robux, the in-game currency for the popular video game Roblox. But then he says this.
Whoever is the first person to click the little gift box at the bottom right-hand corner, right there, and send me the laughing disco. Whoever is the first person to do that, I'm gonna pick you, and you're gonna be next.
You can send them little gifts that cost real-world money. And this laughing disco ball costs just south of $5.
This isn't just some free emoji, like you can put a fist bump in there or anything like that. It does cost just shy of 5 clams. So, if you send him about 5 clams, you get free Robux. That's right, this Whippets addict is gonna send you Robux. How cool is that?
So Joxy is saying that whoever sends him this disco ball thing will in return receive Robux. And look, it's working. These people in the live chat both sent him laughing discos. But then he says this.
Okay, skinny Gordra. Skinny Gordra.
Oh my god, he's such a bumbling, drooling idiot that it is painful. His illiteracy is making me sick. In his own scam, he couldn't even choose a name that he can pronounce, that he can read. He couldn't even fucking say the name in his own scam. And again, this isn't live either. This is looping. He doesn't ever send the Robux to anyone. So those 2 people that sent him the money, they get nothing. They fell victim to his scam.
Then I kept watching.
Guys, hurry up. Tell me your username in the chat right now. Okay, let's choose another person for some Robux.
Uh-oh.
Whoever is the first person to click the little gift box at the bottom right-hand corner, right there, and send me the laughing disco. Whoever is the first person to do that, I'm gonna pick you, and you're gonna be next. You're gonna be next. Okay, skinny Gordra. Skinny Gordra.
Somehow it's always that dastardly skinny Gordra, as he calls them, that keeps winning the Robux. How is he so quick with that emoji? How does he keep getting away with it?
Okay, you're getting Robux, skinny Gordra.
That's right. This loops over and over again. This live stream isn't live at all, but an edited loop meant to trick viewers with this false sense of urgency. Like, hurry, hurry, hurry. And as you can see, it kind of works. $10 here, $20 there. And he does this over and over and over again, multiple times a day, every day.
And wouldn't you know it, somehow, Skinny keeps winning. It's always that damn Skinny Gordra. How does he always win?
Oh, look, this one's live right now. Oh my god, it's the exact same scam we just saw on Joxy's channel. Quite literally the same video.
Whoever is the first person to click the little gift box at the bottom right-hand corner.
And it's not just on this one douchebag's channel. They do this across many. It's an entire network. So that same Joxy video is played on an entirely separate channel. The exact same video, again, trying to farm, trying to mislead children into tuning into the stream and then try and get them to, like, panic send money to try and win the Robux. But it's all just the same looped video. It's a fake live stream that is just, by every possible definition, a scam. And it should be treated as a serious one because they have made a sizable chunk of change from this. Like, even just during Jack's Films' following of these channels, they made a lot of money that he was able to watch unfold in front of them because it posts a message in the chat when someone does send them the money. And this isn't a donation, by the way. I know that's how they're going to try and loophole it, but it's not a donation because they are outright telling their viewers, if you send us this emoji, this is money, by the way, if you send us this money, you will get this item in return, whether it's Robux or V-Bucks. So they are paying you for that. I think that's how it should be treated. Of course, I'm not a fucking lawyer. I didn't pass the bar, but to me, that no longer constitutes a donation. They are giving you money under the pretense that you are giving them an item in return for that. So, in my little Neanderthal noodle here, to me, that is now wiping your whole bussy with the idea of it being a donation. It is now a transaction for an item that you are not delivering, that you never intended to deliver. Thus, fraud. So, I feel like this is a crime, should be treated as a crime, and they should be seriously punished for it. They have taken a lot of money from a lot of people over the course of however many months they've been running this scam.
If we click the little bio here, it says, this channel is owned by Joxy's management team. Joxy does not have access to the channel. Weird. It kind of reads like a disclaimer meant to distance the personality from the channel.
Man, you know what? I take it all back. These guys are slick. That was very smooth. Maybe they passed the bar. Wow, the way they were able to weasel themselves out of the accountability here. They don't own the channel. You can't hold Joxy responsible. He only makes all of the money from it. But he doesn't log in. This mystery person, the elusive man, logs in there. Fucking Slender Man is the one that actually controls the channel. They're the ones that are nefariously looping these pre-recorded videos that Joxy and all of his douchebag stupid associates make money on.
Well, let's take a look at his most recent video titled, We're So Sorry.
Hi guys.
We're so sorry.
We are so guys, we all do the crocodile streams. Guys, I'm gonna be honest. We might not be truthful with you guys.
Charming.
There are few things as cringe as people trying this hard. They are really doing all they can to look like they just don't care. They're just above it all. You guys are actually beneath us. We don't care. And Jiminy Christmas, someone needs to have an intervention with the pinstripe wearing wiffle ball superstar over there that is going plus ultra on the tryhard. He is biting his lower lip while flexing. The insecurity is so potent I can smell it through the computer screen. This is a DEFCON red alert insecure fucking meatball here. He is unironically doing the beach is that way. Beach is that way. Oh, no. I went back and watched it again, and I only just now noticed he doesn't even have a watch on. The others are flexing like some Temu drop-shipped whatever garbage, fucking whatever they got from Wish.com. He doesn't even have that much. He is actually just there with his shirt wide open and trying all that he can to strike muscle poses here. I guess you didn't get the memo. This was supposed to be like a fake I'm sorry, and he's treating it like he's doing a photo shoot for Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition or some shit. He's just constantly posing. Somehow, in this group of pathetic losers, he found a way to be the most cringe amongst all of them.
Predictably, Joxy's stream on the right eventually turned into the Robux grift. But what was really funny was when Bacon's stream did the exact same thing. And I was able to record my reaction live.
I'm gonna choose you to be next. Okay, let's distribute this, guys. Someone in the chat.
Yeah, who wants some Robux, guys?
Yes. Holy shit. 2 scams. Don't worry, I checked. This footage also loops.
Unsurprisingly, this whole stalling thing to try and get a bunch of viewers in there while looping a stall video that never actually finishes whatever they say they're going to do, like with the crocodile tooth and the 911, usually transitions into them doing the Joxy thing, which is, okay, now we need money. So now give me money and you'll get Robux, V-Bucks, whatever. So in that one, Bacon, buttfuck, whatever it is, I already forgot the guy's name, but his does the exact same thing. So clearly the goal is deceive a bunch of children, get them hooked on like, oh, he's gonna press the crocodile tooth, wow. And then it goes into, okay, now quickly you gotta give me money so you can earn some V-Bucks and Robux, that kind of thing. And it works. They are apparently making actual money from this. In Jack's Films video, if you watch the whole thing, which again I highly recommend you do, you can see a lot of people fall victim to it throughout the course of his video. They are giving them money for it.
Oh, they're doing it at the same time. I love it. Laughing disco, laughing disco. Give us laughing disco, and then we'll give you Robux.
Yo, Jack, you need to stop trying to expose us, bro. Leave us alone.
We're not doing anything wrong, bro. We're not doing anything wrong.
Oh, really?
What are you doing, bro? Come on. You gotta stop.
Quick. Everybody join the stream and say go.
Solid defense, fellas, but I don't think that will hold up in a court of law. Dude, that's so cool.
Oh shit, goofball got him. He rubbed his nipples at him while shirtless. He dunked on Jack there. This kind of behavior is actually baffling to me. Not the fact that they're all douchebags, that's very commonplace, especially with that hairstyle. It's the fact that they keep trying to look cool. And they believe that looking cool is being shirtless at all times. So like this guy standing up shirtless, rubbing his nipples at Jack. That is so embarrassing. Why are you doing that? Especially when you have a body that's built like a bag of milk. It looks like someone tried to draw Hank Hill's torso outline. There's not even the idea of muscle to be found on this guy's upper body. So why are you trying to, like, flex on him with a nipple rub? Like, what is that, man? I'll stop yapping about it. Again, I recommend going to watch Jack's full coverage of it. They've deleted most of this. They've tried to scrub its existence so that way they can avoid being punished for it, I think, since there has been somewhat of a crackdown on it. But there are still plenty of re-uploads and plenty of evidence to their wrongdoing here. Again, it is a scam. It should be treated as such. I believe there needs to be serious punishment. There needs to be a precedent set. Otherwise, just like all those degenerate pranks, it's going to continue to spiral out of control. More and more people are going to be doing this kind of thing, scamming through these fake live streams, and this shit just super sucks. Anyway, wanted to talk about this. That's about it. See ya. I was going to wait a bit longer before drooling all over this topic, just to see if anything would come from it since it's such a big deal. But I've now very much learned my lesson that there is never going to be anything that comes from anything Epstein related. That's basically how it seems. So I'm sure you've seen by now that with all of those redacted files that they've been farting out, you can actually unredact a lot of them yourself, and you don't even need a double-digit IQ to do it. Here's a quick tutorial that even a Neanderthal can follow along with.
Redacted, so you can go ahead and scroll down till you get to a redacted area. Here's a redacted area right here. Guess what? If you want to look at these files, all you got to do is copy it and paste it into Microsoft Word, and guess what? All the files are unredacted. There it is. So go back to justice.org, find all those files, and start unredacting before they figure out how to stop you.
I've seen only a teensy tiny bit of media coverage on this, not a whole lot of buzz generated from the unredacting techniques here, but from the couple that I've seen, they say things like this: hackers unredact Epstein files. Hackers didn't do it. Your fucking grandpappy sitting down in front of his goddamn iPad could do it too. There's no hacking here. It's Control-C, Control-V. Holy shit. My god, he's like an elite XD hacksaw. Wow. Yeah, it really is that easy. You don't have to have a big brain like Jimmy Neutron for this here. And it doesn't work for all the files, but it works for a good portion of them. And what you will find when you unredact a lot of this is that they very clearly have not complied with the law. They are not following the rules of the redactions, which, mind you, are supposed to be reserved exclusively for victims and minors, that kind of thing. But when you unredact a lot of this information, you are finding information that is not related to a victim, a minor, anything like that at all. There are numerous examples of these improper redactions being applied to these files here. There are more examples of that than there are of me being short. You can find so fucking many. And it's kind of like a lot of crickets in mainstream journalism right now in regards to this unredaction technique a lot of people have employed on TikTok, and even like Asmongold has done it on stream as well. And what they're finding is, yeah, it is inarguable that these redactions are not following the rules. There's like this article here that's written about like the redactions on 184 through 192 that were describing taxes paid by companies incorporated by Epstein properties that were not on the balance sheet. And at the end, it even says it's unclear how property material complies with the redaction standard under the law. An inquiry to the Department of Justice has not yet been answered, and it probably won't be answered because the sad reality of it is law doesn't apply to people at a certain level of power. The law is like simply here for plebeians, it seems. And it's not even subtle. Fucking goofball Kash Patel can go under oath and lie out of his ass out the wazoo till the cows come home with a straight face and a limp dick, talking about how they don't have any credible evidence that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked victims to anyone, so it's just Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell, that's it. If you believe anything else, you're a crazy conspiracy theorist. And now with these files, we have provable evidence that they at least knew of 10 other co-conspirators that Apparently, they just decided to throw in the garbage can and never pursue. But we have so much evidence to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt he is lying, yet he won't face any perjury charges. He won't be arrested. He'll just keep fucking cruising podcasts like they're glory holes here about how he's doing such a good job and puffing up his chest and shit. None of these people that are just blatantly lying and breaking the law will ever be held accountable here. All of these improper redactions that don't comply with the law, don't comply with the rules here, everyone responsible will not face any repercussions. I'm so confident in this, it's fucking sickening. Nothing's going to happen. And it is so incredibly sad. And not only is nothing going to happen, nothing's going to happen and people are going to cheer for that too. I've already seen the narrative shift to like, who cares about the Epstein files and all these crazy mental gymnastics to downplay the significance of the biggest child sex trafficking operation in our country's history, where there are still unbelievable amounts of people that got away with these heinous crimes, still potentially in the highest levels of government, and people are just saying like, doesn't matter. That's not the important stuff. And make no mistake, this wasn't some innocent whoops-a-daisy where they accidentally redacted information that they weren't supposed to, but they were trying their best to be super transparent and comply with the law. This was on purpose. It's by design. This is a cover-up. It's not a conspiracy. It's in front of your face. You can unredact the information yourself, and it doesn't take a lot of technical prowess to do so. You can confirm this yourself. They are trying to protect these pedophiles. They are running defense for evil, evil people that they have knowingly collected all this information on and decided to do nothing with for years. Not just this administration, the last administration too, obviously, but the point is, right now, they're still doing all they can to protect these people. That is unacceptable in a sane society. And anyone who writes that off as like not a big deal is a fucking lunatic. Like beyond pathetic loser worm. Now, if you're wondering how this even happened with being able to unredact this yourself, is because so many people working in the government are just actually incompetent. I don't mean that like exaggeratory. I mean like they legitimately like diaper wetting, paint chip eating fucking idiots over there. So the likely explanation here is they used the highlighter tool to black out the information, but they didn't actually redact it. So when you copy and paste it, it's still there. They didn't even actually redact it. That is how bad at their jobs they are. And I've seen a theory floating around that maybe this is on purpose from a whistleblower who was tasked with redacting information but wanted it to get into the hands of the American public, so they instead did like the highlighter tool as opposed to redacting it. And I'd be willing to motorboat those titties, play ball with that idea, if we hadn't seen so many examples of just pure incompetence at the highest level. I truly just think it's clear that the people in these positions are just like actual fedora-tipping Reddit twerps, like based on how they shitpost on Twitter and everything, and that they legit just can't do their jobs very well. Side note, anyone remember this little golden nugget where they literally rickrolled the Epstein files release, treating the most notorious, infamous child sex trafficker, as well as all of the information in regards to his clients and all of these evil crimes, as a joke? Anyone remember that? I think it's pretty evident that a lot of the people in these positions are actually just fucking dumb. So I'm not willing to believe that this was some kind of internal whistleblower trying to do the right thing. I just think that they are actually fucking lobotomites, just genuinely stupid, and didn't realize that blackout highlighter doesn't actually redact the information. It's wild they can't even do the simplest things correctly, like redact information. You can literally click like 2 buttons in order to do that. And they can't even figure that much out. They are knowingly making a conscious decision to violate the law here in regards to these Epstein file redactions. And even while doing that, they can't even figure out how to redact the information properly. Thus, they get caught with their pants down. They can't even do the cover-up correctly. And still, even though their whole ass is out, goat seed, on full display for everyone, every single human being on the planet that wants to download the files and unredact it themselves, they can see that they broke the law by redacting things that aren't minors and aren't victims. Even this being 100% confirmed will still probably not lead to a single person being fired or a single individual in a higher level of power here, even facing some finger wagging. It's just that bad right now. They can do anything they want with complete immunity. And it's just so outrageous. It's infuriating. I had to yap about this a bit because I've now learned that there won't be anything that comes from it, so might as well blabber about it now. That's really about it. See ya. It takes a big man to resist the primal urge to say I told you so when it turns out they were right when everyone was saying they were wrong. I am not that big of a man. I'm only 5'6". I'm fun size, baby. I'm petite. So here's me saying I told you so. 8 days ago, I made a video called I Don't Believe It, talking about how everyone was parading around and celebrating that Nina Lynn had been permanently banned on Twitch based on literally zero evidence whatsoever. No statements from Twitch, no nothing. In fact, Nina herself even said that's not true, but people still said she's full of barnacles. She's definitely permabanned off nothing but pure hopium and fantasy. I went against the grain saying I don't think that's the case. I don't think Twitch is going to have her permanently banned, but would love to be wrong. Fast forward to right now, turns out I wasn't wrong. She is unbanned and literally streaming this very moment. And if you turn your attention to her chat, you get a peek inside what Arkham Asylum must look like in the modern age. I cannot imagine, I can't even picture what losers must look like that are spamming W in a Nina Lynn stream. This is sexual assault superstar Nina Lynn, and people are excited to see her content again. Using the term content very loosey-goosey there because all she does is go on stream and whine about her haters and how much she doesn't care and actually loves her haters. Stay mad, fuck your mom. And then she'll go out in public with fake bravado and pretending to be all tough. It's just absurd to even imagine someone being entertained with those jingling keys because basically she just goes out and just says, fuck your mom! And that's it. But maybe they're very excited to shower with money because they're hoping they'll be her next sexual assault victim. Maybe that's what they're sitting their fingers crossed with as they throw dollars out of their wallet at her. A brief lore recap for those that are blissfully unaware of who she is. She is a streamer who has on stream sexually assaulted someone. And then turned it into a joke after the fact, even said that they should be embarrassed to even feel like they got sexually assaulted. She then also stole from Target on stream and then bragged about how much she steals from Target. All of this broadcast on Twitch, mind you. And she hasn't been permanently banned for it. She got 3-week ban in total. So I think it's a pretty clear message from Twitch that they don't take crimes like sexual assault or stealing all that seriously. Though they're willing to turn the other cheek if you're bringing in some viewership and some money to Twitch. A pretty awesome message to be sending to the community where sexual assault savant Nina Lynn is welcomed back with open arms from Twitch itself, even after unapologetically broadcasting it and then turning the sexual assault event into a joke on her stream, as if it's not a big deal and doesn't matter or anything. But you've really outdone yourself here, Twitch. It's actually unbelievable. There is no clear consistency with the way Twitch enforces their rules. So you can commit serious crimes like sexual assault on Twitch, but if you're popular enough, that's okay. They'll let that slide after a couple weeks of vacation, which, by the way, wasn't because of the sexual assault. The 3-week ban was because of the stealing from Target. And I feel like they were probably trying to make up for like only banning her for like 24 hours or whatever it was after the sexual assault. But even then, 3 weeks... Yeah, I'm sure Nina Lynn really learned her lesson, and it definitely sounds like she did on her return stream, that's for sure. There is no consistency to how Twitch enforces their own rules. So, a notable example is, in 2023, a streamer named Scumnut got indefinitely banned for a joke where he typed, "I'll kick you to death" in one of his friends' chat, in reference to a God of War run he was doing, which was kick only. This was one message to a friend of his that was clearly in jest, and he received a year-long ban and only got the ban lifted because that friend was able to argue with Twitch staff himself to get Scumnut back on the platform. Imagine a world where you get banned for a year for what is clearly a very quick one-message joke to a friend of yours, yet sexual assault and other crimes are only punished for 3 weeks. It's absurd. Anyway, let's take a quick peek at the intro to Nina Lynn's return stream. There's no point in diving into a lot of it, because all it is her just being, like, really loud and obnoxious.
Even after this whole ban, listen, bro! The haters gonna hate! But listen, Ain't no better marketing team than the haters. I'll tell you that right now. Guys, I'm not even joking when I tell you this. Bro, I love it. I love it, bro. I love the support, the hate, the everything, bro. We love all that shit. We love all that shit. Give it to me, bitch. Oh my God. Oh my God. The girl Wonder. The girl Wonder with the 10. I saw you earlier. You was giving out 5s and shit too. Shout out to the girl Wonder, man.
Man, she really has the voice of an angel and the mouth of a sailor. What an incredible combination. And she is as loud as a child on Xbox Live. The perfect recipe for incredible success. So much financial gain, even after blatantly sexually assaulting someone. Yes, sir, that's sexual assault superstar Nina Lynn back in action. Hide your cheeks, cause she's coming for him without consent. It's incredible stuff, Twitch. You've really outdone yourself here. What a strong message you're sending. Now, it's not all just her gloating to her haters. She's also doing something really nice this holiday season for some kids where she's going to be giving them money. So I'm going to go ahead and play a quick segment there of her maybe turning a new leaf here and doing something nice.
Maybe I'm spoiling it. Fuck it, I'm gonna spoil it. I have some news for y'all. I also have tomorrow we are giving 120 to 100 orphans or, recreational kids that we're gonna be donating money. We got some sponsors on deck. I'm gonna invite you guys on it. But the money is gonna go towards the kids, bro. I'm very proud to say this. I've been working on it for a week now. Anyways, that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow, guys. That's tomorrow. We're not gonna worry about that right now. But Christmas is really for the kids. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm Grinch, I might just dress up like Grinch. Who knows?
Sounds very sweet. I'm sure that's coming from a place of genuine care, no doubt. Now, one thing I couldn't help but notice when watching her return stream is a lot of people in her chat were very upset she was wearing a mask. So there's some people that were spamming take the mask off, some of them caps locking, mask off, that kind of thing. There was even one guy multiple times begging, please take the mask off, and then pleading to mods, make her take the mask off. Which is so incredibly sad. It's like they're just desperate to goon to her or something. That's why they're there. So like when she had the mask on, they were shaking their fists. No! Take the mask off! What fucking losers. Holy shit. I just had to point that out. I didn't screenshot all of them and I don't feel like going back through and doing it. But when she had the Grinch mask on, there were people like really upset that there was a mask she was wearing this time around. But anyway, this whole thing is me just basically saying I told you so. I think Twitch has made it pretty clear here with this that there is a level of popularity you can achieve where Twitch is more than willing to let pretty much anything slide, including crimes. That's a pretty great message for Twitch to be sending. Pretty awesome stuff. I'm not surprised to see this. I'm just pretty upset about it, is all. And I have no doubt Nina Lynn will continue to be very successful because it's not just Twitch that doesn't care. Look at her community. They don't give a fuck. They're spamming W's. There's that one guy who's like, my goat is always doing such nice things in the world, when Nina Lynn's entire brand, personality, and content is around making other people miserable, even going as far as sexually assaulting someone, stealing, threatening to beat up a stranger when they express their discomfort with her behavior in public. I don't exactly see how that's really blessing the world with sunshine and rainbows, but I guess that delusional paint chip eating, glue huffing chatter sees it differently. Either way, very sad shit. Twitch should be ashamed of themselves. That's really about it. So yeah. Right now, I want you to try and imagine the worst thing you can think of. Genuinely like the most horrific, traumatizing sight that you can picture. I want you to briefly do it. Not for too long, but I just want you to plant it, burn it into your brain for a moment. Now let me guess what you just pictured. Was it a bear opening your car door and destroying the interior of your Rolls Royce? Yeah, I thought so. Luckily, in this case, it was just a thought experiment, but what if I told you this actually happened? And then what if I told you it didn't actually happen and the claims were all part of an elaborate insurance scam? I say elaborate, but that's definitely not the word to use for it. Almost 2 years ago now, I covered a story about some fucking goobers, some true goofballs, who hatched this scheme where they had one of their friends dress up in a bear suit to go into their luxury cars like a Rolls Royce, and then take kitchen utensils and start scratching in the car as if a bear was the one destroying it. Even though it never even, ruined the interior, it just left little marks like a kid with a fork dragged it across the seats a little bit. and then they would go to their insurance claiming that a bear broke into their car and get an insurance payout for it, and it actually worked 3 times. But they were eventually caught when they took a closer look at the footage that was submitted. It is fucking incredible how awful it looks. It's like if I had my buddy Eric dress up as a bear for like a child's birthday party or something. And they just have this guy go into their car and just do this a little bit. It was so interesting. And somehow it took this long for them to get sentenced. I won't spoil the surprise there, but I bet they are not happy and are very much regretting this plan here, this dubious plot. Now, I want to be clear, it's not that it's unbelievable a bear would break into a car. In fact, there's a lot of footage of that happening, which is probably why they chose this in the first place instead of having it be like the fucking chupacabra.
We got some brisket if you want.
Oh my.
He's opened that door. Oh my god.
Psst, get out of there.
Oh my god.
No. Hey.
Oh my god, I got it.
You won't be laughing when that dirty bastard hotwires that car and pit maneuvers your ass to try and confiscate the footage to hide the evidence. It is impressive, actually. To me, that's no laughing matter. That's fucking terrifying. If we gotta worry about bears opening the car doors, breaking in, and stealing our loot or something, you know what I mean? So, and it's more than just this. This isn't the only guy that can do it there. Bears are impressive. Somehow, they've been training. They've learned how to do this for a lot of cars. I forgot to turn off the face cam for this one so you can see me nodding in approval here. Impressed by the bear's ability to get into this vehicle, and they eventually steal something out of the back seat. It was like a bag of diapers or something, I'm not really sure. But the point is, I know bears can open car doors, but what you'll see in this insurance scam doesn't look like that at all. It looks like just a dude going up, opening it, and then crawling around. It's incredible stuff. But yes, also side note, be aware, sleep in fear knowing that if you're transporting honey from the grocery store, you are not safe. At any moment, a bear could fucking scoot in sideways, open that car door, and rob you. Because they have learned how to open these car doors. That much is confirmed. You saw the California bear suit scammers finally got sentenced. Did they? I remember talking about that a while ago. I feel like it's been like 3 years. They only just now got sentenced. They were the ones committing insurance fraud. Because they were claiming like a bear went in there and fucked it all up, but then they got caught on camera and it's clearly just a guy in a bear suit. And yeah, you're right. It looks like it only just now went through. Humans who used bear suit to defraud car insurers are sentenced to jail. Oh no! And they took the high quality bear suit! What? California Department of Fish and Wildlife biologists reviewed video footage of the attacks on luxury cars and said that the animal was clearly a human in a bear suit. I like how they had to bring out like the certified expert, but anyone with eyes could tell you the same thing. Hold on, let me pull up the footage. It has been a while, so maybe you guys forgot about this. This shit goes crazy, actually, though. It was a very interesting scheme, to be honest with you. Get ready to cover your eyes. It's horrifying. That's a bear in there. Watch out! It's ruining the luxury vehicle. I think that's a Phantom, it looks like. I can't really tell. I don't know cars well enough, but that looks like a Phantom. Oh, he's in the back seat. Oh, God, no. He's ruining it. What's he doing, that degenerate? Oh, the bear's gooning in there. No! He just bought that car, too. Wow. That's brutal stuff, man. Damn, look at the damage that he was able to cause. Fuck! Oh, there he is again. That fucking maniac. That bear got a taste of luxury cars and now he can't stop. Yep, right to the back seat again. Mm-hmm. Now he's getting in there causing all kinds of commotion. A huge ruckus. Oh, wow! He totaled it. Oh no. He's back again! Oh, look at the way he opens that door. He's so smart. Who taught him to do that? Apparently they're going to jail for this, by the way. Imagine going to jail because of this fucking scam. Absolute losers. Holy. They forgot to draw a sea bear circle around the cars. True. I truly cannot believe the horror there. So what did they rule? They were sentenced to jail after masterminding a scheme in which they staged fake bear attacks on luxury cars and collected more than $141K in insurance payouts. Isn't it sad that it actually worked? They actually got paid for that. Someone watched that footage, fucking mouth agape. Oh! Wow, alright. We're approving this, my god. We're sorry this happened. To carry out the attacks, the residents had a person in a bear suit climb into the cars and use claw-like kitchen utensils to leave scratch marks. The residents filed claims to defraud three different insurance companies. Two defendants, Ruben Tamrazian, 26, and Vahi Muradkian, 32, of Glendale, were sentenced to 180 days in jail, or about 6 months, and ordered to pay more than $50K each in restitution. Another defendant, Alifa Zuckerman, 39, was sentenced to 180 days in jail, while a restitution amount is yet to be determined. All three had previously pled no contest to felony insurance fraud. Oh, there's a fourth one. Ararat Cherkinian, 39, of Glendale, has a preliminary court hearing scheduled for September. Not immediately clear if they had lawyers. Oh, maybe they represented themselves. Or maybe they brought someone in a bear suit to defend them. Pretty cool. Hey, boo-boo, what do you think we're gonna find in this Rolls Royce? 180 days in jail. Good thing they brought in the biologist. They would have got away with it, too. You see the Lakers beat the Rockets last night without Luka or Reeves. I didn't watch the game because I figured it'd be a blowout. So when I saw that headline, that was more unbelievable to me than this fucking bear insurance fraud. I cannot believe they actually squeaked out a series win. I see no world where they actually win the series, but even getting one game there blew my mind. Oh no, they're also paying restitution, so it's 180 days in jail and restitution, so it's not like they're coming out in the green here. It certainly wasn't worth it, I'll tell you that much. Alright, man, this new tactic that they're pulling out for the Epstein files that they're really digging in deep in the John Madden playbook for is unbelievably ridiculous, even by the standards the circus has already set. This is like if I pissed on your head, but didn't even try and call it rain, I just called it piss. I just say, hey Buster, I'm urinating on you, and you're just supposed to like thank me for it. Last night there was a big bombshell breaking. All Epstein files released. Pam Bondi announces DOJ has released all Epstein files under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, including justified redactions and a list of high-profile names appearing in these documents. When I saw that fresh little nugget drop there, I actually thought that there was a huge Epstein file dump where they actually did unredact everything. Maybe Pam Bondi getting biblically smacked down at that hearing the other day and embarrassing herself actually did lead to these files coming out, the remainder of them. But it turns out that's just a fucking lie. That's just a big-time, full-blown fib. And of course, it was a speed run to community note it as people went to check, only to learn there are no new files. What's being referred to here are the same files that came out a few weeks ago, the 3.5 million files from a couple weeks ago. And now the new thing here is, I guess after Pam Bondi got fucking farmed on Rust by anyone with even a single semblance of a brain at that hearing, She huffed and puffed and then farted out a giant list of names from anyone that was even mentioned anywhere, which includes people like Janis Joplin, who died when Epstein was 17. So this has naturally been called out by a lot of people, saying to have Janis Joplin, who died when Epstein was 17, in the same list as Larry Nassar, who went to prison for the sexual abuse of hundreds of young women and child pornography, with no clarification of how either was mentioned in the files, is absurd, which it is. It's done on purpose with the sole intent of confusing and muddying everything here. They combined the actual, real, evil child sex trafficking clients with just random people's names who appeared in emails like Janis Joplin. This is ridiculous, and it's just blatantly corrupt right in your face. There is no new files here. That is just a lie. Yet for some reason, it's being peddled by tons of people as if it's real. I guess they all got the call, so Alex Jones here, preaching about how Pam Bondi just unleashed the full Epstein files. She dropped her trousers and took a shit on this whole narrative that the Epstein files implicate anyone in this administration. In fact, it backfired bigly on the left, on powerful Dems like Bill Clinton. And others busted, while fake smears against Trump are bullshit. Vindication for Trump. It's crazy how Alex Jones, for years, was talking about this elite pedophile ring that was raping and torturing and killing children, and now he is finally proven beyond a shadow of a doubt to be right. He was completely correct on that, and now he has to pussyfoot around the subject, just tiptoeing, walking on eggshells because some of his friends are in there. Dude went from secretly filming Bohemian Grove to being best buddies with its members. So now, we all know that this is correct. Alex Jones could have taken a victory lap on this shit, but instead he's been preoccupied with 6'7" Labubu and whatever other dog shit that is, and anytime he mentions the Epstein files, he has to do so with Trump's cock in his throat about it. He only focuses on those easy, low-hanging fruit of the Epstein files like Bill Clinton. Alex Jones explores the Epstein files like this, with his hands over his eyes, really scared, making sure to put on the blinders so he could block out all of his friends' names, so he can laser focus on easy shit like Bill Clinton, who everybody knows is guilty in all of this. Real groundbreaking stuff, goober. It's incredible what a paid shill this guy is. And I just saw he's doing like a press tour about how all of this is the result of Trump, by the way. He went in there and said, you gotta release this now. It's time we fucking release everything unredacted. No more, softball in it. As if Trump was the reason this happened. Even after, for a whole year, Trump has been saying it's a hoax. It's not real. Move on, move on, move on. We gotta stop caring about this Epstein stuff. Does anyone still care about this? No one in America cares about this. Yeah, Alex, I'm sure Trump is the one that went in there and really strong-armed the release of anything. And again, Alex Jones is saying all the files are released now. That is just provably false. That is not true. There are no new files that Pam Bondi just released, Alex. It should be obvious to anyone paying attention, or even just a smidgen of attention. You don't even have to, have your eyes glued to it or anything. Even just glancing should be pretty clear, painting an obvious picture that the powers that be are using Alex Jones as a very convenient mouthpiece to regurgitate their shit and defend them, and do a lot of sweeping for them. We are in an era where you have this information at your fingertips, and they are telling you, disregard what your eyes can see and listen to us and nothing else. It's so fucking scary, because people are willingly doing it. You can check yourself to see if there are new files that dropped, and it only takes a couple of seconds to get the real answer. No new files have dropped. You can find the truth yourself, and it takes seconds. And they know that, so they're relying on you just being too lazy and too blind and too much of a sheep, so they can just feed you things and have you believe them without bothering to check. So they can just lie and say that Pam Bondi just unleashed the nuke on Epstein. All of it's right there, and it's only Democrats. Look at that! Backfired bigly. And you won't bother to check it yourself. It's craziness, and it sucks that it works so well. If you do bother to do any amount of actual research on the Epstein files, you'll find it's more than just Democrats. It's Democrats and it's Republicans. It's a ton of the world's most powerful people that have engaged in some of the most unthinkable, evil actions imaginable. And these monsters, these fucking worms, treat it like a joke. CoffeeZilla just made a video on it. Howard Lutnick in particular, he's always busting a gut laughing anytime Epstein's even brought up.
I am increasingly disgusted by the way this is all a big joke to liars like Howard Lutnick, who deceive the American public about the status of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
That guy was there. I wasn't going.
Now he testifies under oath that he actually went to the island of the creep and brought his kids.
We had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children.
Nevertheless, every time Epstein is brought up, this guy can't stop chuckling. Here's Lutnick laughing again when Trump is addressing a question about Epstein.
To talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation.
I don't know. I could ask you that question.
He thinks it's the funniest thing he's ever heard. And maybe it's because they really think we are buying it. Maybe it's because they think, hey, we're just going to get away with this. We can just keep, the lies are so brazen.
They are literally laughing in your face about it. They know they're getting away with it. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. It's just so brazen, like CoffeeZilla said. And then you have people like Alex Jones that are just parroting that same shit like, everyone's absolved except for the people we don't like. And also, by the way, even if it was only the people you don't like that are implicated here and guilty, why aren't they being arrested? Ask yourself that question. Why aren't the people like Bill Clinton being arrested? Why is nobody getting arrested for the Epstein files? I know I've already said this, but even if the only people that were guilty in here are the people you personally don't like, why wouldn't Trump and this administration be going fucking full throttle, whole hog at them, trying to throw them in the slammer? Food for thought, I suppose. Perhaps it's because they know if they went down, it would put them at risk too, because it's not just the people you don't like. You are just so focused on the ones you don't like that you'll block out all of the other shit. You will not use your own fucking brain. Now, another big thing that's come out that it seems like a lot of mainstream media and a lot of Twitter personalities refuse to speak on is Epstein's potential ties to Israel. It's very weird. Yet no one really seems to want to talk about that connection. Why is that? I just find it odd how you have so many Twitter patriots and mainstream outlets that just outright ignore this potential connection of Epstein and Israel. And Israel is a very important subject in American politics, it seems. Politicians can't stop praising them, glazing them, and Trump in particular, his mouth has become a glory hole for Netanyahu. So don't you think it would be something worth talking about and investigating if there is potentially a tie between Epstein and Israel? I mean, I feel like that would be something that a lot of people would want to know more information about to find out if it's true or not or what's going on there. Because again, every politician in this country, this administration and even previous administrations love to bend over for Israel.
I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate. And I've worked every day to do that.
We need America to wake up and prioritize Israel, bring home Israelis, and make sure we stand by our number one ally in Israel.
That's right. What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause is dear to my Israel. Defense of Israel.
What is number one?
I have said to people when they ask me if this Capitol crumbled to the ground, the one thing that would remain is our commitment to our aid, and I don't even call it aid, our cooperation with Israel. That's fundamental to fundamental.
Miriam Adelson is amazing. What she has done for Israel, for our country, and for this world is second to none. Thank you, my friend. The sad truth is, for way too long, anti-Semitism has been allowed to grow unchecked in this country. Too many institutions have abdicated their moral responsibility to speak up.
There's an additional 100 clips I probably could have pulled, but these were the ones that were top of mind, and I think it's pretty clear that Israel is an extremely important subject to the powerful politicians in this country. Fucking Ted Cruz goes as far as to say it's the sole reason he got into politics is to defend them. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I don't know how that's not treasonous. He is a representative in our country who is openly stating that his priorities are a foreign entity. Whatever, I guess. I suppose that's fine by today's standards. I don't really get how. And boy howdy, isn't that Nancy Pelosi statement quite the eye-opener. Even if everything crumbles over here, we will still find a way to honor our aid to Israel. We'll start botting in RuneScape if that's what it takes to make enough money to send it to Israel. Damn everything else here, that's the most important part. Pretty crazy shit, I would think. I feel like maybe I'm on the crack pipe here, but that should be a little concerning that the politicians that are supposed to be representing this country seem much more focused on the interests of another. But anyway, my point is, With the release of all of these Epstein files, even though hundreds of the files are just completely worthless garbage that are fully fucking redacted, just nothings, there is still a lot that remains that showcases a potential connection of Epstein and Israel. Now, of course, nothing's confirmed or anything, but shouldn't that at least warrant some kind of investigation, at least some kind of poking around? This administration is very blunt about how little they care about the Epstein files. They literally say that. Trump always talks about how no one should care about this and move on. And also, they're very open about, we're probably not going to look to investigate anything. There's nothing actionable in there. Whoops-a-daisy. Can't do anything about it. Sorry. And, of course, Perjury Patel just continues to lie about it. But anyone that actually takes a peek at it should at least find it odd that a lot of these outlets, like journalist outlets, a lot of politicians, and a lot of the paid shills online are not talking about the Epstein-Israel connection in any capacity whatsoever. And when they do talk about Epstein as a potential spy, they always make a mention of CIA, or, you know, maybe not being a CIA spy, but never going as far as to talk about a potential connection to Israel. That should be very weird. Why is that something no one would talk about when Israel is such a huge piece of this country, apparently? Why wouldn't that be something that would be more discussed by the mainstream? It's all so blatantly corrupt. Anyway, just wanted to yap about this latest lie. That's really about it. See ya. You all know I'm not a big Nintendo enthusiast. Love their games, hate the company. I have not bought a Nintendo product in a long time now, and I don't have any plans on starting anytime soon. I just do not agree with the company's business practices. Full stop. And I am proven time and time again to be on the correct side of history with this personal decision of mine. I cannot stand this company. I'm sure a lot of you are seeing the headlines right now about how Nintendo has successfully filed a patent in the US on summoning a character and letting it fight another. Basically, the media is claiming that this patent is going to stop other games from having summoning that will allow the summon to follow you and fight others for you, which is a very basic gameplay mechanic for tons and tons and tons of games. Summoning has been a staple in gaming since the beginning of time, since the first couple of cavemen banging stones together, thinking of video games in his head. Summoning has just always been there. Obviously, this is laser focused on PAL World because Nintendo is deep on that case. They're pulling out all the stops. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to recruit God Almighty to come down and smite PAL World HQ for the sin of stepping on Pokemon's creature-catching toes. But tons of people are worried with the way that the patent is currently filed that this will hit things far beyond just creature-catching games. It will hit tons of products that have summoning as a mechanic, which is a very basic gameplay element. So things like Final Fantasy, Shin Megami Tensei, Persona, or even classes in video games that use pets and minions. So like Diablo with Necromancy, World of Warcraft with Hunter, where you'd summon your pets to go attack the bad guys, that kind of thing. They believe that this patent is also potentially going to have ramifications on that, which again is a very basic gameplay element that games have used for decades. And I've now read through the patent, suffered through all of those pages because I could not believe that this would even be something that could be successfully filed because it's unenforceable. Like, you can't expect every game that uses summoning to now not be able to do that because they'd, be fucking suckling off the teat of Nintendo's patent. There's just no world where that would actually go through properly. It couldn't. And after the agonizing misery of going through all of these pages, which at times feel unnecessarily bloated in explanations, especially their background, like, Jesus Christ, you could have boiled that down to like a page or two. Like, holy shit, that's like me explaining a peanut butter and jelly in like fucking 2,000 words. But like, I went through all of this. And it seems like a lot of it is pretty specific, though I do think there is wiggle room for some broad interpretations of the filing. It seems like what they are specifically claiming are kind of pretty like laser guided on PAL World itself. It seems like they're mainly just using patents as a weapon solely for PAL World. But I do think it opens the door that there could be some problems down the line in other avenues, but I would be very surprised to see this patent actually having an effect on any games currently out there that aren't Palworld, which I still think is just dog shit. And I hate this direction Nintendo takes these days where they patent everything. Everything Nintendo has ever used in a game, Nintendo now wants to patent to stop others from even thinking about exploring creative options with those kind of mechanics. I think that is so anti-creative expression, and it is stifling to creativity in this medium. I think it super sucks. So even if this is specific enough to only hurt Palworld, I still think this is fucking horrible overall, where anytime there's a game that they have issue with, they'll just patent things around it, so that way they can more effectively take them down. So let's go ahead and take a deeper dive here into exactly what they've now registered, what Nintendo owns entirely that no one else can touch anymore. This is their holy grail mechanics. Performing control of moving a player character on a field in a virtual space based on a moving operation input. Performing control of causing a sub-character to appear on the field based on a first operation input. And when an enemy character is placed at a location where the sub-character is caused to appear, controlling a battle between the sub-character and the enemy character by a first mode in which the battle proceeds based on an operation input, and when the enemy character is not placed at the location where the sub-character is caused to appear, starting automatic control of automatically moving the sub-character that has appeared, and performing control of moving the sub-character in a predetermined direction on the field, based on a second operation input, and when the enemy character is placed at a location of a designation, controlling a battle between the sub-character and the enemy character by a second mode in which the battle automatically proceeds. I know that jargon can be a little confusing and hard to understand exactly what it's saying. Unfortunately, that's just how a lot of patent filings sound, like somebody overdosing while trying to explain string theory. This article kind of breaks it down into like what exactly it means. So like, move character in virtual space, summon character, call it sub-character, by which means it's not the player character, for example, a little monster like a Pokemon that the player has at its disposal. Then there's alternating scenarios here where the sub-character is summoned in a place where there's already a character, so then it will fight, and then it is summoned in a place where there is not another character, so it doesn't fight immediately. The final step is about sending the sub-character in a direction, then letting an automatic battle ensue with another character. Then if you look at their flowchart, they have like the entire thing broken down here about the field processing. You move character, control enemy character, they come in contact. Basically it goes through what a battle looks like. So then throwing motion instruction, and then it goes through their checks. Is there selection target? And then if there is, sub-character will appear. Sub-character fights. Basically, if you read through this, it is like the Pokemon formula. This may be a look at the Krabby Patty and what goes on it here, but this isn't actually overly relevant to the patent and their claims in it. This is them laying out their flow as examples of their processing and how all of it plays out. That is not what they are specifically targeting. So that's figures 18 through 22, and they're shown as an example of how their processing is executed in these games. But the patent isn't aiming to just patent everything you read in that flowchart. Reading through this patent, it is looking at these sub-characters that get summoned, and if they are summoned on top of an enemy in a persistent environment, it will automatically fight the enemy. If it is summoned when there is no enemy present, it will follow the player around performing autonomous actions, that kind of thing. Specifically, I believe it would be manual versus automatic. So if a game has both manual and automatic battling for these summons, then these would apply. So like, if you're summoned skeletons or something as a necromancer, if there are no enemies, they will go find one and then automatically fight it, I believe, would then be an application. Again, it is pretty confusing, but what they are listing here with their Pokemon flow is just examples of what, like, they have and what they aim to protect through these patents. The claims are the important parts of what they are filing, which many are interpreting as pretty broad. And there is room that it could be viewed broadly. Yes, it seems like it looks to, put the lock and key on Nintendo's toys so no one ever gets to play with them again. But the way that you can read this filing does apply to more than just, like, the creature catching aspect of Nintendo Pokemon games and stuff like that. Like, I can understand confusion because it is confusing. It is weird. It is messy. And this is entirely uncalled for and unnecessary. And even, again, if it is specific to Palworld alone, this threat of a patent that Nintendo owns around summoning and certain things with summoning might just be a deterrent from someone else out there looking to explore a creature catching game or a game that uses some kind of summoning mechanics in like a container. Because Nintendo now has like the Pokeballs and like creatures held in something that you throw. Like, them just having so many patents that they squat on and them being as litigious and aggressive as they are, that in and of itself can just be a weapon. Like that fear of Nintendo coming at you legally for one of your gameplay ideas that maybe doesn't have anything to do with like Pokemon, but it could still fall under their interpretation of a patent, that now they don't want to like mess around with that idea anymore because they can't afford to get sued by Nintendo. Them just having all of these patents that are applying to broad ideas, even if they are specific enough in the actual filing, is still just scary to a lot of developers, I imagine, that can't afford to be targeted and attacked by Nintendo, even if they haven't done anything wrong. So they might not even take the chance of making that game. I just think it is just so shitty across the board. I feel like I got a little lost in the sauce on my explanation. Basically what I'm saying is, even if these patents are specific enough to only target Palworld, which again I think is already shitty in and of itself, but even if it doesn't apply to other things, the confusion around these patents, and since they are targeting very basic gameplay ideas like summoning, people that are developing a game that uses summoning in some way that is even remotely adjacent to a creature catcher might be hesitant about pulling the trigger on development and going down that path because they could be afraid Nintendo would target them because of this patent. So, like, them just going down this path of patent everything, even if it doesn't target everyone now has to be aware of that and be like kind of worried, like, well, what's Nintendo going to do with it? And does it apply to my game? Is my game falling under these specific criteria? Because it might be, I'm not really sure. So it just becomes a big problem across the board, in my eyes. It just attacks creativity. It just makes it harder to explore ideas from other people because Nintendo might come after them. And Nintendo is not shy about going after, like, literally anybody. They will target someone that only has, like, 5 followers on itch.io if they think they stepped on their fucking trademarks or something. Like, they will. So it becomes just a blanket threat. Nintendo with patents is a grizzly bear with a bazooka. Truly just unpredictable, but very dangerous for sure. Like, it is just a legitimately concerning thing for developers because now Nintendo will enforce those patents strictly, and you're not entirely sure if, like, well, does my summoning mechanics fall under these criteria? Potentially, I'm not really sure, you know? It just becomes bad. I don't like it. I think it is super shitty, and I'm so fucking tired of Nintendo's antics. I still have no plans on buying any Nintendo products. That has not changed. So, yeah, that's really about it. See ya. Am I the biggest Five Nights at Freddy's fan in the world? Nope. But, did I see the first film? Yes. Did I like it? No. But, I could understand why others did. So, I just saw the second film. Did I like it? Nope. But this time, I can't understand why others seem to like it. I know it's getting, like, absolutely spanked when it comes to, like, critic reviews and stuff, but most people, myself included, don't really give a fuck about critic reviews these days. But what I am seeing is a lot of glaze for the film from fans of the property, which I understand that there's a level of enthusiasm for an IP where you will swallow any shit that gets farted down your throat. I understand that. There is a level of fandom where it doesn't matter if it's objectively terrible. You are just happy it exists, and the fact that it is something that you can go put your peepers on for an hour and a half or whatever is good enough. Everything else doesn't matter. You can point at the screen going, I know that! And that's all you need. Oh, also, speaking on that, special shout out to my auditorium in particular. The entire row behind me was talking from start to finish about the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's. I felt like I was listening to the fucking Fazbear Fan Club podcast behind me. The entire goddamn movie. Every time someone's name was mentioned, I heard them talking about their significance to the plot in the games. Anytime they recognized something on screen for all the fan service, they'd point it out. So even though I myself am kind of a fucking homunculus when it comes to Five Nights at Freddy's lore, I promise you, every single Easter egg and fan service moment in here that was sprinkled in the film, I know about now. I know because they pointed it out loudly every single time. One of them even sang one of the songs that is apparently associated with the Easter egg that was presented here. So trust me, I got every single reference in this one. I got the big time full-blown Glup Shido experience here for sure. But even outside of that group, I am still seeing a lot of people saying, like, this is just for the fans and the fans alone. And okay, fair enough, but I would say even if you're the biggest fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, this film is just still kind of weak. However, the cold hard truth of it is, it doesn't matter if the film is weak. The fact that it exists at all is satisfactory to tons of people already. Even if the film is mid or bad, this film does what I think most fans of the property want it to do. It shows them the things that they already loved from the IP, from the games, on the big screen. And they give you a lot to chew on that you'll recognize from the games. And that's enough for people to have a very positive experience with the film. And if you're in that camp, all power to you. I'm happy that you're happy with it. But as someone who is not the biggest fan of the games, I don't think this movie stands on its own two legs overly well. There are two things I think it does better than the first one, though. And it is something that they did highly talk up about, like, listening to feedback from the first one. I do think they did try to make it scarier. And I do think they made it feel much larger in scale because there's more animatronics and it feels like it spans more than just a location. Both of those things are good. Those are my main two positives I can give the film. I think the animatronics look great. I appreciate that there's more of a presence from them. I also think they did a great job with Marionette's design. That character is by far the eeriest part of the cast here in a film that's already devoid of scariness. Not that that's actually a negative I have for it. I don't go into Five Nights at Freddy's expecting to get fucking goosebumps, tingles, and covering my eyes in fear. This is Weenie Hut Jr. horror for toddlers. It is meant to be like a gateway horror franchise for kids, and in that aspect, it does excel. It is a juggernaut IP when it comes to kids' horror property. So it's not like I'm complaining that it didn't make me, a 31-year-old man, afraid. I just wanted to point out that as far as designs go, Marionette, I think, was the most successful, but also the biggest waste of potential, because most of the time you see Marionette, it's when she's possessing somebody else, and in that instance, they just give, like, wacky eyes to the person with, like, Slender Man, long arms and, like, little claws, fucking noodle hands, like salad fingers. And it's a much less cool and less original look. But anyway, like I said, another thing I liked is that it does feel much larger than the first one. I love the new Five Nights at Freddy's location. I think it's a very cool set. And I also think they knocked it out of the park when it came to William Afton's pieces. Even though there's only 2 sections, I'm pretty sure, with him in there, they are the highlights of the entire film. They are done really well. The opening sequence, the flashback to Marionette and Charlotte, we're going to be getting into spoilers, spoiler warning. That sequence where she's trying to save that child that William has kidnapped back there and then he is chasing her, I think they did an extremely good job with. The dream sequence with Vanessa confronting her father, William Afton, I also thought was extremely well done. I would have liked to see more of that, because those 2 scenes are the only scenes in the movie that bother with building tension or suspense. The rest of the film, even though, like I said, I understand this is meant as, like, horror for kids, the rest of the film is literally just jump scares with no attempt at building up to them. So it's just like random loud noise. Here's fucking Chica grabbing a guy through the glass door here. Big loud explosion noise. Breaking glass over here. And when you just have that as your main, like, scare moment, it just feels a little flat because there was no suspense building up to it at all. But like I said, I do think this one is scarier than the first one. It does seem like they tried to put more of an emphasis on this kind of thing happening, which I appreciate. Like, I do think it's going in a good direction there for the third one, I suppose. But now, like I said, one of the compliments I gave about, like, I love that it feels larger, love the new location. Well, I actually do have, like, a little hemorrhoid that I want to slap onto that butt there for a second, because I do like that, and they set up something that I thought was going to be very cool with, you know, Fazbear Fest, fucking Faz Fest, where, like, they're celebrating Freddy Fazbear and all of this shit, and they talk about it a lot. There's flyers, there's hype around the town, and then the movie is gradually building to a big final showdown. You are led to believe it's going to be at this festival, and it's going to be a fucking bloodbath. but it's not. The final battle just happens in one room of a house. So, like, why even bother setting up the Fazbear Festival? It played absolutely no role in the plot at all, and from what I've read online, the third film, the conclusion here to this trilogy, also doesn't take place at the Faz Festival, so what the fuck was even the point in putting this here in the first place? It did nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it would have been a great final showdown space for this, too. It just feels like a real missed opportunity, and maybe it's what they wanted to do initially but couldn't because of budget or something, perhaps. I don't know. But it just felt really lackluster watching the final battle happen in a room, whereas it could have easily have happened at the festival. In fact, while they were talking right before that final battle, the festival was mentioned. I was like, okay, we're about to fucking take this shit outside, aren't we? We don't. Anyway, though, I want to get more into the meat and potatoes of things. When I mentioned that flashback, the intro, I think that was like probably the strongest part of the film, but it also sets up the main villain's motivation, Charlotte. She is at the OG Five Nights at Freddy's, the genesis of this evil, and she sees that kid get kidnapped, and she tries to tell some of the parents there about it, and they all brush her off. And it's really weird. So, like, she goes up to this guy, and she's like, help, this child just got kidnapped. And he's like, go tell your parents! Get the fuck away from me! What are you? A kid getting kidnapped? That's impossible! You're out of your goddamn... Where are your parents? Go talk to them, don't talk to me. And so he, like, yells at her, and then she's like, oh, geez, okay. So she goes up to some other parents, some ladies, and are like, excuse me, grown-ups are talking. Scram, kidnapping? As if, kidnapping, never even heard of that. What does that even mean? You're making things up, you're crazy, get out of here, shoo. It's like, okay, really weird. That's extremely weird. And I get that we needed this as motivation for this character, so when she does die because of William Afton stabbing her, it's fuel for her rage, where she hates parents because she believes they are responsible for her death. And she's right to assume that, because if these parents had just listened to her warning them about the kidnapping she just witnessed taking place, she would probably still be alive, and William Afton may have been stopped in the very beginning. What I don't get, though, is in what universe would any parents react like that to hearing that a child just got kidnapped? That blew my mind. When that was happening in that scene, I was like, what the fuck? Why would they be looking at her like she just fell out of a spaceship or something for bringing up a very legitimate concern that she could have just witnessed? Why are we just ignoring that? And then she ends up getting murdered, which ends up getting covered up. Like, surely the parents would have connected dots like, oh, that girl that was telling us about the kidnapping, she's been murdered. Maybe something was fishy going on there. Nah. Surely it was her fault. Just no foul play. I don't know. I think the villain motivation here makes a lot of sense. You know, she died, and in her last moments, she only had one emotion left, rage at the parents that let this tragedy happen. But I feel like they knew what they wanted the motivation to be. It's a strong motivation, but they couldn't get, like, a real logical way of having that come across other than just having, like, these outrageously aggressive, combative parents that would somehow, ignore a kidnapping alarm. So that was just a little weird to me. Not the biggest complaint in the world, but just something I wanted to mention. But piggybacking off of this point, I have to make a mention of what actually is a big complaint of mine, how awful the script is. Holy cannoli. Now, I know far be it from me to sin by criticizing Five Nights at Freddy's writing here, being someone that has only played a handful of the games. I haven't done the extensive homework and research required to comprehend the universe. But this film, it unapologetically makes the assumption that everyone seeing it knows every single tidbit of lore before watching this. Which I actually don't fault it for at all. That's not a big negative to me. I would much rather a film cater to the built-in audience. It's the whole point in adapting something. I would much prefer if this was the standard than something like the Halo TV series where it abandons the fan base. I would much rather it appeal to the hardcore fans. So I appreciate that, even though I'm not in that target demographic. So there were things that I had questions about, like didn't fully understand because it seemingly comes out of nowhere. But I learned, thanks to the group chit-chatting behind me, and basically just reciting Wikipedia pages anytime something happened. They were kind of filling in the blanks on things that were confusing to me. I believe that a lot of, like, the randomness that gets thrown into this film, all cattywampus, actually makes sense if you played the games. Like, it has lore significance to the games more so than it does for the movie. So even though it feels out of place and doesn't make sense in the context of the film, if you played the games, it helps you understand that. So I imagine people like me that haven't played a ton of the games and don't fully understand the world will be equally as confused by certain things that just happen to randomly spring up here. But that's not like the biggest deal in the world to me. I think that's okay, and you can excuse that because, again, it does seem like the main audience here is supposed to be Five Nights at Freddy's fans, laser focused on that. But outside of that, the dialogue between characters is trash. Like much worse than the first one. Like, I actually think they did a big step backwards when it comes to character writing in this film. Not only that, I also feel like they had no idea how to get from point A to point B in a way that makes sense. So, example, at the end of the movie, everything's going tits up. The animatronics have broken free. Charlotte's going out to try and kill the parents and stuff. They're trying to stop her. Well, at one point, Vanessa's car breaks down at the most important moment while they're trying to get to Mike's house. And it breaks down, seemingly like in the middle of nowhere. There's no other cars on the road or anything like that. And she's like, ah, damn! Throws the walkie-talkie. And then it just so happens Mike's friend drives by and he's like, hey, that doesn't look good. You need a ride? How incredibly convenient that he's just out and about at this time of night in the middle of nowhere to give her a ride to Mike's place without asking any questions about why or what's going on. Instead, all he says is, crazy eyes. And that kind of thing is present throughout the entire film with these crazy conveniences, and it feels like everyone in this world just has the ability to teleport. Like, they all have Goku's instant transmission. Every single one of them can go exactly where they need to be instantly. Like, there's no sense of, like, scale where it takes a while to go from, like, Freddy Fazbear's place to Mike's house. It feels like they're neighbors, really. Like, Abby can ride her bike there in what feels like a matter of, like, minutes, even though I imagine it would be miles. But she can get there in minutes, build an entire robot with the help of Chica, and get back in time to sleep, and then go to school for the science fair all in one evening. And keep in mind, this new Freddy Fazbear's place is a place nobody even knew existed because it's been condemned and forsaken for decades. They drove that point home. But I guess it's just like right next to all of them. It's like, it's literally just a couple steps away. It's just weird, is what I'm saying. Like, everything about the script just feels really fucking weird. So yeah, Charlotte becomes the marionette, the puppet, and she wants to kill all parents. Her best friend was Vanessa. So now Vanessa is connected to this original event, and Vanessa knew all about this, even used a music box to like pacify her, keep her asleep at bay. But then her brother gets some spectral scoopers in there who free Charlotte. So now she can go on her rampage killing parents. No parents get killed. In fact, I think there's only one death outside of that spectral scoopers crew, and that's the piece of shit teacher who just gets his head popped like a watermelon. That's something I also want to mention that I think is a positive. It seems like they really did want to push the PG-13 rating. They did try and give you like some gruesome deaths. I appreciated that they tried to go pretty hard there. I think that was a nice surprise. So anyway, back to the narrative. It is now up to Mike and Vanessa to team up to try and stop this from happening, because now Abby gets mixed up in it since Charlotte can control the other animatronics. She lures Abby into a trap, believing that it's her friends coming back, that kind of thing. It's clearly not, and thus they have to save Abby and stop Charlotte. I think the dynamic between Mike and Vanessa here is fucking terrible. Mike is basically just like, I hate you, Vanessa. You didn't tell me about this. I can never trust you again, and I won't even hear you out on anything ever again. I refuse to believe in you ever. I spit on you. Stay away from us. Like, I understand feeling like a bit betrayed and being like a little hesitant to trust her because she kept such a big thing from him. But I would also argue that she went above and beyond and did more than he did to protect his sister. I feel like Mike had the least amount to do here. It was mainly Vanessa. Mike was basically just playing the fucking Five Nights at Freddy's game, which I actually thought was a series of decent scenes where he's like at the security booth and he's got to wear the mask. That was kind of cute. Like, I don't have any big complaints there, but it truly felt like it was Vanessa's story and Mike was taking a backseat in it now, and yet he still has the gall to be like, fuck you, Vanessa. And then the film ends on like a cliffhanger setting up for number 3. And I think that is why I'm so surprised so many people are like still really glazing this, because this film really feels like it is solely here to set up for the finale. So little actually gets solved or anything in that regard in this film. It is all just putting the pieces on the board for the finale. So it doesn't feel like it ever even reaches any kind of like third act or a climax or anything. It just goes until it abruptly stops, until it stops going, getting you ready for the third movie. And that's why I'm saying I just feel like it's kind of weak. Even if you're the biggest fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, you are basically just watching the setup for the third one. Now, if you watch all three of these when the third one eventually comes out, I'm sure this one won't feel as lackluster since you immediately can flow right into the third one if you so choose. But now having to wait till the next one, you're left with just an experience that is just setup without anything else. I could keep yapping about the movie, but I don't think there's any value in doing that. I think that's probably pretty worthless because if you already liked the first film or you just like the property, I have no doubt you're going to like this one. I think it does exactly what fans of Five Nights at Freddy's want, which is just provide them with the things they know from the game on the big screen. So it boils down to, do you like Five Nights at Freddy's? If you check yes on that box, you'll probably like the movie, because it is just showing you all the things you already liked from the property in the games. And if you like the first movie, you'll probably like this one even more, because like I said, it does two things better than the first film, which is, it does make it feel larger and does make it feel like it's trying harder to be scary or disturbing. So, yeah, if you're already a fan of the franchise, I have no doubt you're probably really happy with this film. As someone who does not really like Five Nights at Freddy's, I do not like green eggs and ham, didn't find a whole lot to love about this one, sorry to say. But maybe the third one. Maybe the third one's where they finally win me over. Anyway, that's really about it. See ya.